Hello, this is Terry at junctionfabric.com, and I'm back today with block number 10, Sarah's favorite. And this is kind of a fun and different block than what we have been doing, and creates a new dimension to your quilt. And let's take a look at it in our quilt. That's another block that would look beautiful on its own, I think. So to do our block today, we need to make a checkerboard pattern. As in the past, I've got one section done, and I'll show you how I created my checkerboard and the technique I used to put this block together. So you have two pieces, your print, in this case my purple and white, to make a checkerboard. Stitch a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Sometimes I press it, but since this piece is so long, a lot of times I prefer cutting my sections. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut my piece. Double check that I'm straight on that side. Sometimes you're not, so straighten it out. In this case, that section is still straight. Turn my ruler so I can actually read it. And we're cutting a 3" and 1/8. And part of the reason we need that 1/8 is because we are setting it on a diagonal. So anytime we set on a diagonal, we do get some strange numbers. We need 6 of these combinations. And like I said, that 1/8 is a little odd for us to work with. But if we add it all together, and when we sew it with 6, it would be 6/8 is 3/4. So our section, if we didn't add that little 1/8 to each square, we could be off 3/4 of an inch in the total. So once my pieces are cut, now I press. So we get them all pressed to the dark, in this case towards the purple. And if we press them all the same direction, when we go to match up those seams, we know we've already got them pressed, one to the left and one to the right. So we press. On this particular one, we need to put 3 together, 2 units of 3. So line up that seam allowance. Get my 1/4 inch seam in there. Here's my fancy cutter. Add one more. press this open. And we have our checkerboard pattern. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I was going to say, I think I need to turn this guy around based on my. I'm going to turn this one around. There we go. And there. So we can line up and continue that pattern as it crosses. Now you notice that everything is much bigger. I did that by design because then it's easier for us to clean up those corners. So to start, we need to add our our blue rectangles to our purple squares. And I still sew at the 45 and sew all the way down. When I'm doing a lot, as you can see, I just kind of move that one out of my road at the moment. So quilting it in. Cut. Separate. And make sure that I'm still going the same direction, that my pieces are all where I want them to be. Okay, let's press. Our triangles to lay down nice. Okay, the parts that we need to match up once we have it together is this and these. So we know that those are exactly where they're supposed to be. So we can fold them over. If you want to pin them, you can pin them, or you can just kind of hold them together. But those are the sections of the block you know need to be matched up. So then you can just kind of lay this out and let him go as far as he wants to go. And then we'll stitch it all down and matching up those seam intersections. So as long as those parts are matched up, your block will look correct. Same on this side. Find our center, match them up. then we'll have to press. Now this one, our block doesn't look very square, so now we're going to trim. So what you need to do is get a square that definitely has a line right through the middle, because that's the line we're going to line up on our seam in the middle. We should actually go clear to this point, line up this seam, because what we want to cut is we want to cut this and cut this. And as you can see, this side here seems to line up pretty good. This one's got a little extra. That's okay. We'll line up and we'll just trim that little extra away. And you go around and do all four corners. So from your perspective, you'll take your square and you'll line up. And sometimes, you know, a little off, but we want to make sure we're pretty straight here, and we want to keep this straight as possible. Once you have that, like I said, go ahead and trim the square. As you see, sometimes off a little. Don't mean to be, but it just happens. And when you're off a little, just kind of line up. You know, you've got three sections you need to line up. I'll find my center line. I need my center line. I need to line up here. I need to line up here. And it's okay to have, let me see, get it as close, kind of compromise between all my sections. And clean my points. Ideally you want kind of a point here, but as you can see, sometimes that doesn't always happen. But the seam allowance will take care of that. And you've got your seam allowance and you've got a seam allowance, and you try to match up and cut. So through all that you get the, stay pretty close there. Not bad. Anyway, it just made it easier instead of worrying about setting in triangles here to come through and actually square it up. The other thing is before I finish, I will probably go back and make sure that I have my seam allowance, because I can see on this one, my blue triangle is just a hair bigger than what I truly need. So I line up my 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I just trim that little bit off. And I'd rather have it be just a hair bigger on some of those sections that I can trim it off, and I have plenty for my seam allowance. But that's, I'll go through, finish cleaning it up, and there is our block called Sarah's Favorite to put in our sampler. Thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying all of our blocks.